What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's raining outside, so I decided to bring everything inside today. And this is a topic that I've been wanting to get off my chest for a while now. This is the supercharger that comes factory on the 2017 to, well, whenever they decided to stop making the ZL1, and also the C7 Z06 Corvette. But before we get to any of that, I just want to say thank you to my dealership. They hooked me up with some wheels, and I made a post the day I got them, and there was a lot of people that were, up in arms. And pretty much I asked for this. One, it makes GM's money and the dealership's money go further as far as making up to the customer for weight. And also I wanted to show you dealerships are capable of a lot more than what they're leading on to as far as what they say. They can take care of people and promise people. I just feel like a lot of dealerships aren't really stepping up to the plate and taking care of their customers the way they should. And I kind of just wanted to show you, I'm not bragging, but these wheels are $1,000 a piece. I don't care who you are, $1,000 a piece for each wheel. But yes, they are the factory OE wheels. I also did a poll to see what we should put on. I didn't think you guys would be into racing like that, but hey, that's what I put those polls up for every day. Seriously, thank you to my dealership. You know who you are. I have not discussed bringing up any shout outs, any names. I didn't want to discuss anything or, publicize anybody or put anybody in a bad spotlight. But if you're watching, thank you. Also, I had a little bit of time on my hands and I wanted to bring to you guys a pretty cool tool that I bought. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Competition Motorsports. You've heard me bring them up before. No, I did not get rid of the cage. I will probably never get rid of that cage. It means a lot to me. It was given to me by the owner. Also, comment below if you want to see me put that back in, because I'm kind of missing it. There's pros and cons to it. When I put the cage in, I can't reach back to clean the windows, but I'm thinking about tinting them anyways, so I don't know. A while back, I was cruising through their website. They totally revamped it. When they revamped it, they expanded inventory massively. And for us 6th generation Camaro owners, this really, really benefited us. And the best part about it is front brake job. When I priced it out on my orange car, my SS1 LE, it was like $980 some for a rotor per side. So, take that times 2, plus you got pads. A brake job could be like $2,500. I was super excited to find out that when I was cruising through Competition Motorsports website that I saw front brakes, just the rings, not the hats, but just the rings, like $800-900 both sides. And they're slotted. On top of all that, there's a pretty good selection for us. So, as far as I'm concerned or aware, that's the cheapest place to get front brakes for our ZL1. I don't think that this is going to apply to the copper-free brake system, but as far as like the ZL1 and the SS1 LE, boom, that's it. That's the cheapest place that we can get front rotors to date that I'm aware of. I'm not sacrificing quality. I've talked to some of the guys down there. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they know what products to bring in. So as far as ordering from them, I'm extremely confident with all the products they bring aboard. I just found this new product, and I don't know how to say it. It's either gyro disc, Euro disc. Here, let me hide my face. Bring it in focus there. This gyro disc, and this is for spreading the pads. I know that there's a couple, as far as like the 6-piston Brembos, there's like a funky gear wrench ratcheting one. It's kind of nice. It's made of different kinds of alloys, so they're gonna give you, to try to save weight and keep it strong where it needs to be strong. This thing is super cool because you can pretty much just pull the pins out of the calipers, pull the pads out if you're able to, and get this thing down in there, and this will go up to an 8-piston rotor. So 8-piston rotor, you can go 8, 6, like that. And the nice part about it is the action part, there's no fulcrum or pivoting point. It slides in and out. So you're gonna get an even distribution of pressure on all those pistons. So This is really, really cool. As far as I'm concerned, there's a little bit of adjustability as far as bringing the fixed part in, bringing it into, you know, depends on how tight of a squeeze how tight of an area you need to get into. So you can do 6, 8 piston, maybe, I doubt a 4, but maybe, you know. But if you need to, then you can just spin it this way and you get down to a single, 2 to a 4 piston. You kind of get the point. This thing is pretty valuable when you need it. And it's kind of nice because when it slides and you're doing this mechanically as opposed to like a ratcheting, everybody's gonna develop their own style as far as feeling the drag, as far as that piston compressing back into the caliper to know whether you need to rebuild the caliper or not. But as far as like the mechanics of it, I really like and prefer this because it's a very direct method as far as being able to feel, you know, you're gonna develop a sense of being able to feel whether that caliper needs rebuilt or the piston needs replaced or it needs new seals or whatever. Competition Motorsport. Price of admission on this thing was about 250 bucks, but well worth it in my opinion. It's gonna last a long, long time. If you guys have ever been wondering how to compress some pads, a best way to do it, especially when you're working by yourself, I'd definitely look into it. Back on topic with today's video, this 1.7 blower that comes factory on the ZL1, well, LT4, let's just say that. The LT4 factory blower, this blower is actually pretty incredible for what it is. Now the, you know, 1.7 liter, it's actually 1740 cubic centimeters, cc's. And they actually get that measurement by, that's how much air it can compress and move in one rotation of both rotors. These rotor packs, from what I'm hearing, they're very, very similar as far as across the board, but the width of the blower, you know, the housing and everything, it's pretty much the same width as any other blower. It's just they shortened the length of the rotor pack. And this is nice because when they shortened the length of them, it took the wobble out of the center section and you could get more speed out of it. And that's pretty much the takeaway I got from all the research that I've done on this blower. So they can spin this blower up to like 24,000 RPMs. I've read a lot and I've seen a lot of videos as far as like, don't pulley the blower, don't spin it harder or whatever. I was talking to Justin at Killer Performance and I agree with him. I mean, this thing likes to be spun. As far as like increasing RPM on the blower, I really don't see any problems with it as long as you can manage your intake air temperatures. As long as you can manage the heat on this thing, that's where your problems are gonna come from. Now, I will touch base on the coating of this thing as far as like, it's a TVS R1700, 1740. It's a series of blower that Eaton has, and we're up to like, I think the V and the R now. They have a couple other ones in development, but as far as current day right now, we have the V and the R, and the R is known to have 4 lobes per rotor. So this thing can grab and move a lot of air. There are different strong suits as far as like what the V is capable of or better at than the R, and what the R is better at and more capable of than the V. The TVS portion of it is nothing more than it's got a twist. And these are supposedly at 160 degree twist. Now how they measure that, I don't know. Maybe it's off the, I don't know. Any blower pretty much since like, man, I don't even know, the 70s, 60s, 70s maybe? I'm gonna guess about the 60s or 70s. I'm going to guess about the 60s or 70s is about when this TVS system became in, and it stands for Twin Vortices Systems. Now the root stir blower pushes the air and moves it up around the case, crunches it down, and it feeds the motor through the bottom of the blower. And back in the day, they used to be not really straight rotors, but they were a lot more, they barely had a twist to them. So when the TVS came into play, that's what that was all about, was, you know, not really having like a screw rotor, but like a pretty substantial twist in the rotors themselves. They've pulled a few other tricks as far as like putting a clutch, like a magnetic clutch on the end of this thing, as far as like when it's not in boost and when the motor's at idle. And as far as the alloys and all this stuff is made out of, this blower seems to be pretty high quality built. And as far as like people worried about how much power that this thing can produce, there's a lot a lot of records being broke and set, especially by Justin Keith at Killer Performance. He took his 1.7 really far in Nemo right before he had to go to twin turbo setup. I see a lot of people now putting like Magnuson 2650s on. That's okay, but I don't think you're gonna get the gains that like people are thinking that, you know, you're just gonna bolt on a 2650. All of a sudden everything's just ice cold and you're gonna make 1,000 horsepower. It just doesn't work like that. Now the 2650 can take you up to, you know, 1,000 wheel and beyond. You're kind of hitting all of the headroom as far as like what the LT4 is capable of. As far as like me and my ZL1 is going down the road, I don't know if I'm ever gonna replace it because it's just like I did a poll. You know, a lot of people, more so than most, said go with the 2650, but the don't replace it, leave the OEM blower on was like right there, right behind. The main shaft, I think I read somewhere that this blower has like a 4-to-1 reducer. So I'll put up another chart up and you'll see they spun it 1-to-1 on the shaft, and you'll see exactly where the strong suits of the volume is and where it's moving the most air. And you can see on the chart, like once it gets beyond 11 or 12,000 RPM, the heat kills it, and it's just, it becomes, the efficiency drops off hard. And ever since I've installed my meth kit, man, I'm telling you, when that red light comes on, you can feel it. And that meth is taking, it's just plummeting those IATs. So the intake temps are just like basically nothing. And it's instant, you can feel it. As soon as that meth kit kicks in, man, whoo, the blower is right back to being, it's bringing it in its efficiency zone. And you know, this blower is capable. I think I saw LME. Now, it was a one-time wonder, and he hit it one time, but he produced 1,018 horsepower on the dyno. But you know, you're talking like almost 1,200 crank. You know, those are dyno numbers. That's not real street application. You're not gonna be able to hit that time and time and time again. So, you know, you kind of got to factor everything in as far as like capability of this blower. Is the 2650 worth it? The headroom that the 2650 has is capable of beyond what the LT4 is capable of. So by the time you max out the 1.7 liter blower, you're really gonna be like neck and neck as far as like what the motor's capable of before you need to start doing stuff to beef up the engine. And everybody's got a different build. Everybody has different tastes. Everybody's got something different in mind as far as how they want to take their car. So as far as me, I'm gonna run this blower as long as I can because I think that this is a perfect fit for this car. As long as you can keep the intake temperatures down and mitigate the heat, I think you're fine. With me in a stick car, is 1,000, 1,200 horsepower too much for a manual transmission? No, what the fuck? I'm so sick of hearing that on the internet. No, it's not too much. No. I think that's kind of the cop out and you're kind of being a bitch about it. It's the same amount of speed, it's just, it comes on faster and you have to shift sooner. You learn to adapt and adjust to things. I'm not buying in, I don't subscribe to that whole narrative. I say bring the power on, but as far as the 1.7 blower, I'm gonna run mine until it blows. You go till you blow, all right? Do I regret pulleying it? No. Do I regret keeping it? No. I think that the combination I have, the KP650 package that I have currently on my ZL1 right now, zero regrets. I think it's awesome. Highly recommend it. Keep your blower. There's a lot of records being set. There's a whole category that people have for this blower as far as like the 60 to 130 runs. And man, I'm seeing like low sixes, high fives, low fives. You know, there's a couple pies in the skies that you'd have to like do your homework on to verify to see if it's real or not. I just think that everybody's seeing 1.7 liter and kind of, oh man. I really think that people are counting this blower out before, you know, everybody sees the potential of it. So I just throw in my 2 cents. Put yours down there. On your way out, don't forget to subscribe. Have an awesome day. Like the video. We're gonna catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you.